What's up, guys? I'm Matt Medved, founder of Billboard Dance, the new Billboard Dance 100 artist rankings. I'm really pleased today to introduce Martin Garrix, one of dance music's youngest superstar DJs. At only 21 years old, he's already headlined festivals across the globe. He's collaborated with the likes of Usher, Dua Lipa, BB Rexa, and more. And he's one of the subjects of a brand new electronic music documentary titled What We Started. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Thing with dance music, it's such an experience of freedom that's around the whole journey you can take someone on.
My career has spanned over 38 years. I started to understand music at a very early age. I just studied it as much as I possibly could.
The biggest misconception is that dance music is a new thing. People don't see it as part of a long history.
In the early days, a DJ could juggle 3 or 4 turntables. You had to really be talented.
With computers now, you have a lot of people who don't know how to mix, don't know how to DJ.
You're supposed to have top 40 over here and dance music over here, and dance music was supposed to be the domain of weird underground misfit electronic musicians.
You go from being in your bedroom to play in front of 100,000 people in a year.
How is a 17-year-old kid the face of dance music, you know? Like...
16, 17-year-old kid, he has got no experience playing in front of a crowd, and they book him. Why?
If people don't like the stuff which I make, then don't listen to it.
Everything that I've done feels like it's gone so quickly.
Carl Cox is a real legend to me.
Final night.
Dance music used to be my little secret. But if you have something great, you want to share it with as many people as possible.
I never thought it was going to come so far.
We're now in a global billion-dollar industry.
I'm nervous. I threw up earlier today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Once the world was able to hear me with David Guetta and now Martin Garrix, that creates an entire new movement.
What's up, Miami?
What's gonna happen next?
I don't know. Do you know what's gonna happen next?
Good to have you here. We got Miami right around the corner, Miami Music Week.
Yeah, I'm actually flying tomorrow morning, super early, so I'm excited. Miami it's always fun, and I'm very excited to see to be at the premiere from the movie.
Yeah, he's got sold-out documentary premiere in Miami. Let's talk a little bit about the film, and let's hear sort of the backstory as to how it all came together. It's a really cool film. It features so many different talents, from guys like yourself to guys who have been in the industry for so long, like Paolo Oakenfold, Carl Cox, you know, a legend in his own area. Seth Troxler, one of the more underground guys. How did all of those disparate talents come together in one film?
Well, Bert and Cyrus, they did a lot of research, and I feel with this movie, like anyone can watch it. Also, people who don't know much about this industry, it's a very educating movie, and I think they started shooting when I was 17, and now I'm 21, so it was 4 years ago. So it really shows the crazy journey, all the things that have happened in the last few years, and it's really cool because I'm in this documentary with all the guys who I look up to, and I'm a fan of myself. I started because of Chesto, and he's part of the documentary. And it's also fun because they have like the mainstream and the more like the cooler, the underground guys, and that's funny. Like you see Seth Troxler being like, how can a 17-year-old kid headline Ultra? And I'm wondering the same question. And in the documentary, you see how everything happened and how dance music came to this point.
What was it like meeting Carl Cox, being around him? I know you guys met at Ultra before the film, right?
He's a legend. What he's done for the industry, it's crazy. And him as a DJ, I look up to him a lot. So meeting him, it felt very unreal.
And touching on something that Seth said, do you feel as though you were able to sort of, in meeting some of these guys, you were able to sort of challenge their expectations that they had about you?
I like it when people have their doubts, because then I want to prove, like, no, it's not just this one song. It's like, it will go 100% the way I want it to go. But I was in a crowd when I was 16 at Ultra, and then when I was 17, there was a year that I did Animals, and that song changed everything for me. And then that year I was headlining Ultra main stage, and just that whole switch. Of course, I understand their questions, and I watched the documentary back with my parents, my sister, and it's really cool to see the journey, see all the craziness, and I feel like Bert and Cyrus, they did an amazing job with keeping the viewer interested and having them feel like they're part of the journey, like they're right in it.
What do you hope that viewers of the documentary will take away from it?
I just want people to understand more, like every single thing that there's to learn about the genre. For me, it was also, some parts were very educating. I showed some of it to my parents, and they were like, "Oh my God, we had no idea and I don't know. I also want to inspire people. I want to show people that everything is possible. And this documentary, it's me, and then it's Carl, and we're next to each other. And then, even though he's older than me, even though he's been doing it way longer than I've been doing it, you see all these things that we have in common. And the number one thing is the passion and the love for music. And for me, that's what I want people to remember from this documentary, that house music unites people, it makes people happy, and it's here to stay even way longer.
You know, one thing that's really interesting about electronic music, I know you and I have talked about before, is the fact that the way in which it's performed doesn't really always show the way in which it is made, you know? You don't get the behind the scenes. You don't always get to see yourself like playing piano or doing different things. And you know, one thing that's cool is in Amsterdam, Martin and I did like a master class on stage where we were able to kind of take people behind the scenes and see the processes that you know, you go through in the studio. Do you feel as though the kind of like the audiences and the fans are starting to understand what goes into making electronic music a little more than when you started?
Yeah, definitely. Because first, a lot of people were like, "Oh, the DJ is on stage making the music." No, I'm a producer. I'm in the studio. I spend a lot of time creating those songs, programming those sounds, and making the songs that you hear when I play it live. But yeah, that's something that I feel like more people know right now. Because first, my mom was like, "Oh, I love how you did that song," but the song was already done in the studio before, and then you just modulate it, or you can put effects on it when you play it live. And then every DJ plays it in a different way. But I'm a freak. I love being in the studio. I love weirding out and just having fun. And then when I'm on stage, you play the song for an audience. So it's cool to hear the song first. It's you in the studio, and you hear the song loop all on repeat until a certain point that you get crazy of it. And then when it feels right, when you think, okay, this song is ready, I'm gonna play it live, and then you present it to the crowd. In that moment, it's exciting. And if the crowd responds as well, I'm very happy, and I go back to the studio even more excited to create more.
And you know, you've also really helped, I think, you know, change public perception as well. Like, you know, playing guitar when you did the TV performance of, was it In the Name of Love, or?
Yeah, and Scared to Be Lonely.
And Scared to Be Lonely, yeah. And so, you know, being able to show that electronic musicians are musicians, you know. And so, one thing that'd be interesting, I know you've got a new song out with David Guetta and Brooks, like I do. Tell us a little bit about the studio process behind that.
Well, this song actually, David Guetta had a vocal, and he sent it to Brooks and I. It was actually in the Dropbox that David and I have, and I was like, wow, this is really catchy. And in like one day, Brooks and I did the whole instrumental, and yeah, that song happened really quick. And then I played it, I think, the same weekend, and to see how quick this song has been going from creating to releasing, it's been crazy, because I've done So Far Away with David Guetta. And that song took 1.5 years to finish. So you never know. It's a creative process. You don't know, I'm gonna finish a song. Sometimes you finish a song and afterwards you're like, meh, I think we can do better. I've done 6 songs with David Guetta in the past 5 years. And So Far Away and Like I Do are the first 2 who only got released. I played Ultra in 2016 or 2015, and I premiered a song there with David Guetta, which we never released, because we listened back to it afterwards, after a while, and we're like, it's cool, but if it's a David and Garrix song, we want people to be wow. We want people to be like, oh my God, how did they do this? And with So Far Away and Like I Do, we felt those were the right songs.
Now, Martin and I first met back at Tomorrowland 2014, way back, and I remember asking you then, because at that point, you were right on the rise with Animals. You were you had just reached that, the sort of top tier, and it was all a new experience for you. And I remember asking, how are you handling it? Like, are you staying healthy, all that? And you mentioned David as a guy who had been a mentor for you, and I know you guys have a close friendship. Tell us a little bit more about your relationship with him.
Well, David is always very honest, and in your life you need honest people around you. And I think David and Chesto both have guided me and gave me so much advice. If I was stuck, if I had question marks about certain things, about touring, about music, they would always pick up their phone. And having them as mentors, it's amazing because they've been in the industry for so long. They were already DJing in before I was born, basically. So having their advice and their input, it's been really helpful. And also feedback-wise, when Chesto was the first guy who started playing Animals out live, I sent it to him. I was like, "Yo, man, I made this, and I think it feels refreshing." He was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna play this live." And then, like 1 day later, he sends back a video of him playing it live and giving feedback. "Hey man, maybe you can change that. Oh, there the kick drum is a little bit too much low freak." Like, they've been super helpful, and over the years from them being my mentors, we've become great friends and shared all these amazing experiences together. So it's been a roller coaster.
Sure.
And also you see it in the documentary, because there's one moment where I'm sitting with David Guetta and Steve Angello before the Ultra set, and they asked me, like, as friends, like, "Hey Martin, how you feel? Are you nervous?" And I was super nervous. I threw up before that performance because I was so nervous. But no, it's been amazing. And also the scene in general, you see it in the movie. They make it sound very skeptical, but in the end, everybody in the industry is in it because they want to spread positive energy, happiness, and being able to do that with your friends. It creates a certain bond. So in the end, all of the DJs, or 95% of the DJs, they're good friends.
You were just in Korea performing at the Olympics closing ceremony. Tell us a little bit what that was like.
Crazy. No, I fell in love with electronic music because I saw Chesto perform at the Olympics in 2004, and I've been saying this in all the interviews, also the interviews we've done together. That moment inspired me to just, I got obsessed with house music, with the energy that it gave me. And the Olympic Committee heard that in an interview, and then this year they were like, "Hey, let's close a circle. You want to do the closing ceremony?" So being there, Chesto FaceTimed me that day, said he was super proud, and it all felt super unreal. And I brought my family. It was a very special week.
It's kind of playing, performing in that kind of spotlight. It's like a once in a lifetime, potentially once in a career, thing. You've had so many really amazing moments since the first time we met, way back. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned, over the past few years have been, now that you've been kind of at the top for a while.
Enjoy every single second. For me, sometimes, especially in the beginning, I was thinking, like, "Oh, what's my next move? What should I do?" But the moment is, if you think too much, it's not good. It's good to think, but if you stress, if you overthink, it will take away from how you deliver. For me, one of the most important things that I also in the studio is if I think too much about what I want to make, it takes away my creativity. So just have fun and do what feels good. Don't let other people direct your art. You're the artist, and you do what you want to do, and you are who you want to be.
As a producer yourself and someone who gets to travel all over the world and be exposed to many different cultures and new places, what are some of the sounds or styles that are kind of inspiring you right now? Like, what are you listening to?
It's a cool question. I listen to everything. A good song is a good song, and it's not that I only listen to electronic music. Something crazy. I don't listen to electronic music that much because I want to keep my brain like fresh. So whenever I go in the studio, I'm not like, I don't have another song in my head. I just want to have a blank canvas in front of me and in my head. So that is, I listen to everything. There's this guy from New York called Mike Young. He sings in the subway, and I'm obsessed with his voice. So like also artists like that, it's not one genre. Good song is a good song.
And you're a very prolific producer. You're always working on things. What can you tell us about some of the new music you have in the works? Not too much.
I'm very happy and I'm very excited about all the. I've had 3 amazing months in the studio, and I've been working with some really cool artists, some bands, some collaborations that nobody would expect and that I wouldn't expect that would happen. So, no, I'm very excited. I can't say any names yet. I'm so sorry, but musically, I've tried some new things. I've also got some more aggressive Morning Garrix club stuff coming up. I've got so much music, so right now we're sitting on a bunch of songs, and I'm actually having an A&R meeting with the label later today. I'm gonna play them all the songs, and then we're gonna make a schedule, like, hey, which songs are gonna come first. But also in the shows that are coming, expect me to play bunch of new stuff.
Cool, and you've got your own record label as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you got on the horizon for it.
Well, long story short, my previous record label didn't go very well. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it myself. I wanna create an artist-friendly platform and just release cool music and not worry about contracts and money and all that stuff, because I don't need money. I want to build a label that just is a platform for cool new music to get out there and use all my resources to push them. So we just had the 2-year anniversary for Stamped Records, and it's been a journey. Like right now we're expanding the team. Start with just 3 people, now we're 15. I launched the Stamped Recording Studios. That's actually, you got the office upstairs, the label, and then downstairs we have 8 amazing studios where I'm also working basically every second that I have free when I'm in the Netherlands. So it's been amazing, and we're signing some really cool talents. I'm excited. And right now, also coming summer, we're gonna do some festival stages. We're doing a Tomorrowland stage with Stamped Records. I'm not sure which ones are announced before I piss some people off, but we're doing like a lot of cool festivals with the whole team.
So you can kind of see Stamped Records evolving beyond, you know, the idea of like a traditional label, and also becoming sort of like an event curator and as well.
I want it to be just a platform for cool music and not one genre. I want everybody to be able to release on the label. Soul music, rappers, hip hop, funk, anything. As long as I like the music, as long as it touches me and the team likes it, we release it. And also we don't want to sign like long-term contracts with the artists. We just do one-offs. Hey, we want to release a song. If you want to release your next song with us and we like it, please do. But we're not gonna like strangle the artist, because it has to feel like the moment you start working with someone, I see it as almost like a relationship. You work together towards a goal. And why would you sign a contract when a relationship is when it feels good?
Absolutely, the model's changed with streaming and with the advent of the internet and social media. I know you have a very strong social media following, very engaged fan base, and obviously, you know, streaming has played a big role in you know, the rise of your songs as well. Talk a little bit about that as an artist, and also as, you know, someone who has a label. Just how the current climate enables sort of artists to be a bit more independent and be able to kind of, you know, release things and reach their fans directly.
I love the current state of music. The streaming, it's very crazy, but it's also so much more accessible. Like a good song, it has way more chance to grow very quick instead of the traditional way. Like you have to sign to a big label, get the big label to push behind it. No, if you have a sick song, you can have a small label upload it, or you can even upload it yourself to Spotify, and then with the right push, with the right promo from Spotify, you can. It's crazy, and for me also, it allows me to release more music, different styles, experiment, and also as a listener, I love putting Spotify on, just put it on like the random or the or
Shuffle,
yeah,
shuffle, yeah,
shuffle, and just explore, find new music, get inspired, and no, I love it. I'm very happy, very excited, and I can't wait.
Before we turn it over to fan questions, I'm going to ask the fan question that always gets asked, which is, what advice do you have for aspiring young DJs and producers who want to follow in your footsteps?
Don't listen to what anyone says, as cheesy as it sounds. You are you. Even if people say, like, yeah, you can't do it, or this sucks, just take that as fuel to show them, okay, you might think this one sucks. Just watch next song you hear all over the radio, or next song you're gonna have to love. So don't let others direct your art, and don't let others take you down. As cheesy as it sounds, but for me, the most important thing is if it feels good for yourself. If it makes you happy, why would you let someone judge and talk negative? And even that person, maybe you only make your parents or your sister happy with your song. For me, that's already reason enough to make the song, because you get to. It feels good, and for producers, and not just only house music producers, but for anyone who chases a dream, just have fun and do you.
Wise words, wise words. Should we open it up to the fans?
Hi, Martin.
How are you?
My first question is, what is your favorite place to actually perform at, either in the United States or international?
It's a really hard question. For me, I love doing every single show. And I don't know. I have a complete list with shows that I've done where I've had goosebumps everywhere. I did Coachella this year. That was a very special moment, because I felt like we took the show to a whole new level. Like, we've been programming, rehearsing the show, and I've also been more involved in the show artistically instead of just the music. Like, for every song, we programmed the lasers, the lighting, the visuals, and seeing 5 months of programming and sitting in a studio, seeing it all come together and having it go 100% the way we wanted it to go, that's a very, very satisfying feeling. So Coachella it's amazing, but I love shows in South America as well. Crowd is very crazy, very energetic there. I've just been in Asia a lot. I love shows there. India is amazing. I love shows all over the world. I can't pick one favorite place.
Just to jump in real quick, I'd love to hear what your perceptions were of playing in Asia, because it's such an important emerging market.
It's amazing. It's the people are very friendly, very welcoming, and just seeing how much electronic music is exploding in the market is crazy. Like, I've done shows there, and I play some stuff that I've made like 7 years ago, and they would sing along all the words. And I'm like, what? How? And no, I'm a very big fan of Asia, and it's just getting started. I think it's only going to get bigger and bigger.
All right.
Hi, Martin. I'm actually coming to Vegas to see you at Omnia May 22nd for
Amazing.
my 21st birthday. So I wanted to know, what's your favorite part about having like a Vegas residency, or any residency for that matter?
For me, what I like about a residency is that I can test out new music, and then test a song, see the crowd's response, go back in the studio, polish it, change some things, and then play the song again and see the new response. So for me, that's really fun about a residency. But also, you get really close with everybody who works there, with the crew, and I love residencies. And Vegas season is starting. It's Wet Republic and Omnia. I think you're gonna have a great 21st birthday. It's very crazy. Don't stay in Vegas too long. But yeah, it's fun. And same thing with Ibiza. It's just crazy to come back every week, and then just like the shows. If you compare the first show of the season to the last show of the season, everybody is growing, everybody's making progress, and the show is evolving, and that's really cool. I use my residencies as like a testing ground for all the other shows. Like the first places that I play new music is either a headline slot at a festival or a residency.
Makes sense. 2 more questions we got time for.
Hi, Martin. Firstly, I want to say I saw you in Lollapalooza, Argentina last year. We are from...
That was really crazy.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite shows, actually.
We are from Argentina. It was amazing. Secondly, I want to ask you, you said that the release of Like I Do, between the time that you started doing it and when you released, it was very short. Was it hard? Did you put on work too much? And in what did you inspire with Brooks and David Guetta?
Sorry, what was the question again?
That the time between you start doing it Like You Do and you release it, was it hard? Did you put on a lot of work?
We had the first draft already really quick, and I played that for the first time during my India tour. And then after that, we changed some things production-wise, mixing-wise, but the melodies and the vibe of the song was already there. But just I heard it live, David played it live, and Brooks and I went back in the studio and made it sound even more fat, more aggressive. So yeah.
All right, we got time for one last question.
What's up, Martin?
How are you?
First of all, we're all gonna miss you at Ultra this week, so maybe next year. My question is, throughout your career, a big part was collaborations with legends like Tiesto and David Guetta, Afrojack, but you also are famous for collaborating with people like Brooks and Matisse and Sadko. My question is, what's your favorite part of collaborating with maybe like smaller artists that not a lot of people are used to?
For me, what I love about collaborating in general is there's an extra pair of ears in the studio. So whenever I'm stuck, I send it to like Brooks or Matisse Sadko. They do their thing with it, and then they send it back. And both Brooks and the guys from Matisse Sadko, they are very much in the same. They have very, very close to the same vision that I have when we do music. So I love working with them. Besides that, I'm also great friends with them. So like, I want to push them, and I know 100%. It's just a start for like, even though they've been doing it already for a very long time, it would only get bigger and bigger for them. And I know as I said, what I like about producing is you have someone that you can vibe with. I see it as like you play ping pong. You have an idea, you push the ball to the other person, they do something, which is fresh air, and then like, oh, this is cool, I can do this with it. So a lot of my collaborations actually happen when I have a song that is like almost done and I'm stuck on it, and I give the idea to someone, and then they finish it or they do something and then they send it back to me.
All right, guys, one last time, go see What We Started and give it up for Martin Garrix.